welcome to Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show. We're calling this show Life After the Tax Credit. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. If you're a homeowner, if you're selling a home, or if you're buying a home, we're going to give you great tips on how to survive this real estate market. We've got beautiful homes for sale in your area. If you'd like to see all the homes available, visit us on the web at StephenCooley.com. You can ask me a question on the web, and we'll answer it on the TV show. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This presentation of the Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show is sponsored by South Carolina Bank and Trust. We believe in South Carolina.
Hello, I'm Stephen Cooley, and welcome to Stephen Cooley Real Estate Show. On today's show, I've got Julie Storm back on the show. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you, Stephen. Always a pleasure to be here.
It's been a while since you've been on it, but you're always here in the room behind the camera and things, so glad to have you back on the show today.
No, well, good. It's good to be here. So I understand that we're going to talk about life after the tax credit.
Absolutely. As most folks know, you had to be under contract by April 30th and close by June 30th to get the $8,000 tax credit if you were a first-time home buyer, which is, of course, defined as someone who hasn't owned a home in the last 3 years. And then there was a move-up tax credit, which was $6,500 for someone selling their home and buying another home. So the industry was kind of waiting with bated breath to see what would happen once the tax credit ended. A lot of folks felt like the real estate market was kind of on life support, and the life support was the Obama tax credits. We have seen quite a bit of reduction. We're past May now, and May was the first month that we haven't had some type of tax credit in a couple of years. And 2009, of course, was the softest real estate market in U.S. history. Based on number of closings, and May, after the tax credit, was down 21% from May of 2009.
Wow.
So we're seeing a huge drop in the folks that are buying homes now that the tax credit's over.
Well, what can we do about that?
Well, the first thing is you have to realize that the tax credit barred buyers from the future. If you were someone who had not owned a home, or if you were moving up and you'd been in your home for the last 5 years, which was the move-up tax credit requirement, you probably jumped ahead and got this accomplished before May 30th. So in my opinion, it reached out into the future and pushed people ahead probably 60 to 90 days. The reason it didn't go any further than that is if you're not out of school as a first-time home buyer, if you don't have good job security, and things like that, if you didn't have your down payment saved, then you didn't get pushed ahead. So we're going to see a valley after the big mountain of people trying to close or get under contract by April 30th and then close by June 30th. What can people do? If you're a seller, you have control of about 3 variables in this sale, and it is crucial, and I'm not the only one, I claim to be the best one, but make sure you have a strong, full-time, if you're a seller out there needing to sell your home, make sure that you have a strong, full-time realtor with an extremely heavy marketing plan. It's more important than ever to make sure your property gets noticed and told to the buyers who are out there. There currently are 65% less buyers out there than back in our boom of 06.
And a lot of inventory.
And a lot of inventory, the most on record. So make sure you pick a strong realtor with the biggest marketing plan. That was not as important back when we had a lot of buyers in the market. Number 2, condition of property for the seller owning the home has to be flawless. There's no room for dirty carpet. There's no market out there for a home that is not in 100% repair, perfect condition, and clean as a whistle. Okay? We can get on the staging after those 3 things happen. But if you're in the home's not in what I consider called showroom shape for buyers to come, it just will not sell right now. So top realtor, perfect condition. And the third thing is you've got to price it for spring and summer of 2010. We've got sellers out there living in the past. I'd love to live in the past too, but we've got to live in the present and the near future on what home prices and values were. If you've got an appraisal from a year ago, your home's not worth what that appraisal said. If you've got an appraisal from 3 years ago, your home's 20% less than that old appraisal.
What's kind of the current with an appraisal right now to kind of keep it in the current market?
Well, you can get a fee appraiser, and an appraiser come out, but the big difference is when the new bank regulations, which are good, came into play, a home has to be within a few miles of the subject property. It has to be a very recent sale, and it has to be a similar property. And if you can't find those things, then the home just doesn't appraise. In the olden days, they would go all the way to Charlotte for a comp for a Rock Hill property or Fort Mill property. So now it's got to stay in the neighborhood. The bank wants to know what the neighborhood's doing, what the street is doing, and so those comparable properties on an appraisal, which is 3 recent solds, now have to be real similar to that property and out of the neighborhood. If you look at those, that's how you get true value of your home.
And there again, having a realtor that's up on everything in the market, that's how y'all can
That's how we do it, and that's how we do it. So you've got, as a seller, you've got to get in control of those 3 variables in the market. If you're a buyer, find your dream home, ask for those same comps to make sure you're A, not overpaying for the property, but B, that you're not going to get back an appraisal after you've done all the inspections and paid for the appraisal, and the house doesn't appraise and the bank won't loan the money. So ask for those comps from your buyer's agent. We have great buyer's agents here on staff and on the Stephen Cooley team, but ask for the most recent 3 comps to the house that you're buying. Get loan approval before contract. You don't want to spend money or give binder money to find out that credit card you missed a payment on 3 years ago is going to keep you from getting a home loan, and we can help people with getting approved. Once you're under contract to buy a house, this is a biggie. Don't go out and buy anything. Don't change your credit. Don't pay off. If you've got loan approval, don't pay off a loan. Don't do anything until you close on that property. So that's just some tips out there for buyers and sellers to get prepared for this market. There is a real estate market out there. People are still buying homes. You've just got to be on top of it as a seller and on top of it as a buyer to have a successful transaction.
And there's still a lot of good buys out there.
Great buys, and we've got beautiful homes on the show today. So please stay tuned for that. And thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Stephen.
And we'll be right back.